our multiple platforms for broadcasting. YouTube on live, check. Facebook on live, check. Periscope on live, check. How's everybody doing this morning? LinkedIn, I had to fill out an application to put my LinkedIn information and put it on live. So coming to you live here in my office, and started the day off, actually 12 o'clock midnight. First broadcast on this multi-platform website. I'll tell you what I'm using, but don't do anything with them because I'm having myself set up to where I can refer this page to you and we all can work together and give you an opportunity to be able to possibly make some money. Advising other people to be part of the stream. All right, we are here. Listen, a couple things I want to cover today. Just checking to make sure and confirming all of our streams are done. Perfect. All right. That's right. I sang happy birthday to Brenda. So Brenda, was it yesterday your birthday or is today the official birthday since we started on right around midnight? Not quite sure. Listen, guys, I got my Ortiz Media Group shirt on. You know what that means? That means we're going to be talking about some business here. We're going to be speaking about how to grow your business, how to grow your brand, how to grow customer engagement. If you're in a ministry, we're going to talk about how to grow your ministry, which, by the way, in that note, there's something that's transpiring. You have to stay very closely tuned to my broadcast because one of the reasons why you're seeing me broadcast more and more than ever before has been because we're about to do something. I'm about to launch something rather unique, and I want to make sure that everybody is involved in what I'm doing. Hey, and I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much. But I'll give you just an inroad. I'm about to open up a new office for Ortiz Media Group and Clark Ortiz Ministries International, and I'm excited about it. And there's other things too that I'm not saying, but you're going to hear about it in the coming future. You'll hear about it, but there's some things, of course, I'm not saying, but it has to do with advancing your life. It's all about building your life up. Let me tell you just quickly. I have 36 years of life experience in me regarding to full-time business and ministry. 36 years. I started really young. In business side, probably even more so. I started in business at the age of 9. I didn't know that I was in business at the age of 9. All I knew is that I needed money. And I had to figure out how to go make money. Nobody told me how to make money. Nobody showed me that I needed to make money. All I did was I realized what money can do for me and how it can empower me. I'm going to tell you what happened. I come from a very humble, very poor lineage. My parents, extremely meekful. My mother, high school graduate. I don't know of her having any college experience, maybe small college experience. I don't know. From what I understand, when I was a child, she worked for a jewelry company making jewelry. And from what I understand, she was very successful doing what she was doing. My father had a 7th grade education. From what I understand, he dropped out of school at the 7th grade. From there, just began to work for his family and so forth. Both of them were born in Puerto Rico, raised Puerto Rico, brought to the United States. From what I gather, I believe my dad was about 11 or 12, 13 years old or so when they came to New York City. And I believe all he spoke was Spanish at the time. And same with my mother. I believe my mother came maybe a little younger. I got to remember to ask her that. But very poor beginnings, poor in the streets of New York City. There was about 12 of us living inside this little tiny house. I should probably pop up the picture of the screen maybe on the delay. I'll show you a picture of what the house looked like that we lived in New York City, in Queens, New York. And then we moved from Queens to Texas. I was 7 years of age. And, you know, as a young boy, I didn't know what was happening. All I know is that one day we're living in a concrete jungle. The next day we're living inside a plush green field of open land. I remember being afraid when I saw my first rain cloud with rain underneath it. Look, many of you all don't understand what that means, but from a city boy's perspective, we thought it was a monster coming to drown us. We never knew that. We knew came from the sky, but in New York City, you really didn't see clouds. At least back then, pollution were so bad. It either rained or it didn't rain. You didn't know that rain comes. That's just the way it was. The other thing we didn't know is that I remember seeing the horizon when the sky met the earth for the first time. I had never seen that before. All I had were trees surrounding the horizon. So seeing sun up, sundowns, and so forth, had never seen anything like that. So here we were living in 6-acre tract of land, and then I think we were there for about a year. And then my parents bought a little house in San Benito, Texas, 2-bedroom, 1-bath home. There were 4 kids, 2 parents. So you're talking 6 people living in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, about 500 square foot home. At about 9 years of age, I'll tell you what happened. My hair was long. I wore a baseball cap and I have curly hair. And my hair would puff up like this because my hair was long. Didn't get a haircut. I would ask my parents for a haircut. I didn't understand that they didn't have the money for a haircut. I didn't understand that. I didn't know that you needed money for a haircut. I just know that my dad and I used to go together, and my brother Carlos Jr. Would go together. We'd go to the barber in New York City. We'd all get the same haircut. You know, high and tight, parted on the side. The way they cut it today, that's the way I cut it back when I was a little boy. And so here now we're living in San Benito, and my dad's, you know, working hard. He was hardly ever home. Didn't take us out to get a haircut. Maybe, you know, I know we went to Mexico a few times and some friends' houses a few times to get our high and tight, but there came a time where, man, my hair would just kind of puff out like that. I had a baseball cap and my hair would puff out. That the kids in school would call me bozo because they wouldn't let me wear the hat in school. So I had to take the hat off. So everything was pressed down except for this hair that kind of puffed up like that. And so as it goes, my dad one day, I was telling him I need a haircut. He sat me down in the living room. This is a true story. He sat me down in the living room and he put a pot over my head and started cutting. I've never seen anything like that. I didn't know that was not done. I didn't know that some people actually did it. Now, as an adult, I know that people, you know, that's the original pothead. He put the pot on me and started clipping away. He got about halfway there. A friend knocks on the door while we're halfway cut. So I had this part cut, this part still puffed up. A friend of his comes to the door. And the friend ends up staying the night. I don't get a haircut. And I got to go to school the next day. Now, I wasn't prideful. Put my hat on. Went to school. I wasn't thinking. I'm just a kid. I'm not thinking how unusual this is. But you know I got ridiculed. Day 1. Day 2. Day 3. I kept asking Dad, when are you going to cut the rest of my hair? Ask my mom, when are you going to cut my hair? And I did the best I could, cut my own hair to kind of make it look somewhat, but it was odd. So here I was mowing my yard that week and doing the chores around the house. I'm mowing the yard. As I'm mowing the yard, I looked down on the corner and there was this section on the other block that was a retirement center, and they had these houses. They were 1-bedroom little cabana type of houses. And the elderly lived there. It was government assisted housing for the elderly. Beautiful. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they're still there. They're all 1-bedroom efficiencies with a front yard and a backyard. And I take my lawnmower, my little gas tank, and I knocked on the door because I like mowing yards. And I asked if I could mow a yard. And she said, how much? I said, I'll mow the whole thing. She said, how much to mow the yard? I thought she was saying, how much of the yard did I want to mow? I just wanted to mow the yard. I'm just a kid. I said, I'll mow the whole thing. They were saying, no, how much do you want? I said, I don't know, $5, $1. No, I might have said $1. And we ended up settling, whatever it was, we ended up settling at $3. So I mow the yard. As I'm mowing the yard, this gentleman comes by and he says, when you're done there, can you mow my yard? How much are they paying you? I said, $3. So I went over there and mowed his yard. They both told me to come back every week. So I thought, I had $6 in my pocket. Now, I remember I rode my bike downtown and it cost $5 for a haircut. I had $6. I went over there. I went inside. They cut my hair. The next day after school, I couldn't wait. I grabbed my gas tank. I grabbed my lawnmower. I start going door to door. I'll mow your yard for $3. Mow your yard for $3. I ended up with about 30 plus yards mowing at $3 a yard. And this was back in, 1975 or something like that. So, yeah, could have been more. But that's what I paid at $3. And what, Collinsworth? That's a launch pad V2 rocket. What's that mean? And explain that, Carlos. What's launch pad V2 rocket? I don't know what that means. Anyway, so I realized I'd make a little bit of money. I could pay for my haircut. So I ended up with about 30 yards. I'm mowing these yards. I'm picking up my $3 out of every yard. And every day I'm mowing yards. And I went to this, there was a place called Perry's store. It was a 5 and dime store downtown. They don't have those anymore. And it was like a little department store, and they had this skateboard, and I bought this skateboard. And then a couple of weeks later, a friend of mine had a bike that I wanted, and he sold me his bike for $5. I fixed it up, and I sold it for $15. Back to the same guy that sold it to me for $5. And that's when I began realizing money was good. And then I began to come up with ideas how to make more money. Nobody taught me this. I cannot say anybody taught me this. And I had a guy that asked me if I wanted to pick up his newspaper delivery route. And he was going to be out of town. I got on my bike 4 o'clock in the morning. I go over to the place. He showed me how to fold the stuff. When I get over there, my friend was still there. I said, I thought I was going to deliver the papers. He said, no, we decided not to leave town. So I'm going to go ahead and do it myself. And so then I said, okay, well, I just got terminated. I didn't say it that way. But it's 4 o'clock in the morning now, 4:30. I get on my bike. I notice there's no cars on the street. It's a little tiny town, about at that time, maybe less than 10,000 people. And so I'm driving around, and a couple of blocks, I end up seeing another friend of mine and his father. They were loading up this pickup truck with a bunch of 5-gallon buckets, and they had this little produce stand. And I said, what are y'all doing? He says, we're going to go pick tomatoes. I said, you going to pick tomatoes? Why do you pick tomatoes? Well, we sell tomatoes, we get paid. And he says, I said, what do you get paid? He says, we get paid 25 cents a bucket. I said, I'd like to go pick tomatoes. And they said, okay, come with us. We didn't ask Mom for permission. We didn't tell anybody where I was going. I just parked my bike there. I got in the back of a truck, a stranger's truck, really just my friend. And we weren't close friends, just a friend from school. And we ended up driving. We picked up a couple of illegals because we stopped at a river. I didn't know what it was. Now, growing up, I know we stopped at a river. People come. These people started swimming across the river with clothes on their head. They jump inside the back of the truck. They get dressed. Right in front of me, I see a naked man for the first time in my life. we end up in the field and we start picking tomatoes. And I picked all the red tomatoes. Everybody's picking green tomatoes. I said, what's wrong with them? I get to the truck and they take the tomatoes, they throw them all out and says, you have to pick the green ones. I said, why? The red ones are so good. He said, no, the red ones are going to rot. I said, okay. So I went ahead and I started picking green tomatoes. And they gave me a quarter. They gave me a little coupon at the end of that little chip, poker chip. At the end of the day, you counted all your poker chips. That's how many quarters you got. And at the end of the day, we'd settle up on how many quarters there were. They paid me my money. The money that they paid me was more money than I was making mowing yards. It was hard work. But, I'm just a kid. What else am I going to do? They said, will you come back tomorrow? I said, sure. Came back the next day. And I noticed the red tomatoes were rotting in the field. So I started I asked the boss, I said, can I take those red tomatoes home with me? He said, sure. I said, how many can I have? He said, how many can you carry? So I grab one of those buckets. I fill it all the way up. I take it to the house. I show it to my grandmother. My grandmother gets all excited how beautiful the red tomatoes are. She calls a couple of friends. She gives them away. And I said, wait a minute. I think I could sell these things. The next day I come back with 2 5-gallon buckets full of red tomatoes. I'm only like 10 years old, 9, 10 years old. And I sit on the corner by the grocery store, Valley Mart, down there on Highway 77, little business 77, and Sam Houston Street used to be a Valley Mart grocery store, and I put up my little sign, 3 for $1. And I started selling tomatoes. Well, it began to grow. I still picked tomatoes. I would sell tomatoes. I'd pick them in the morning. I'd sell them in the afternoon. I'd mow yards on the weekends. I get my $3 mowing yards. I get my weekday money picking tomatoes, and I get my weekday money in selling the tomatoes. Listen to this. I was making about $30 mowing yards. Do the math with me. $30 mowing yards every single week. I was making about $40 picking the tomatoes every single week. That's $70. And I was making about $60 selling the tomatoes. Hello now. Talking about $130 this little kid was making a week. A week. A week. I didn't know what to do with all that money. You know what I started doing? I started buying candy. And I would take candy, when school started, I took candy to school. And first I started giving the candy away. Then I started selling the candy. So I'd go to the candy store, I'd buy the candy in a bag. I'd put it in a briefcase, a little plastic briefcase that I had, take it to school, and I'd sell the candy to the kids in the school. Then after a while, on the weekend, I started staying at my uncle's place out in the Ratliff area in San Benito. And there was all these kids that I used to hang out with and play. We would ride bikes together and everything. And here I show up with my candy. They all bought all my candy so fast. So I took all this money. I went to the candy store. And the guy at the candy store said, what are you doing with all this candy? And I said, well, how much is it for? I want to buy boxes of candy. And they said, no. He said, I'll tell you what, call this guy. And they gave me the number to the candy supplier. And I called the candy supplier. I remember making my dad drive me to the candy supplier. And I come out with a case of candy. I was shocked. How much I could buy candy for outside of the candy store. I didn't realize what markup was. I said, my God, they marked this thing up. And the guy told me, he says, yeah, you're going to sell this for 25 cents. And I was only paying a nickel for them wholesale. And so I was shocked. So I had all these boxes of candies. I went to my uncle's little place and I set up this little candy store. And I told all these kids, I got my little shoebox out with my money and my change. And then eventually I bought a little money tray. And I started a little convenience store, what you would call a convenience store. That's what I ended up starting. And I'll tell you what, it's shocking. And I did that for a number of years. And I continued to work and work and work and work. And I'd leave that and I'd start another business. I'd leave that business, start another business. And then I went to school. I went to college and started messing up my business aspirations. And then I found myself married with a child and broke. And I said, I got to figure something out. Make a long story short, I ended up starting an ad agency. I started brokering airtime, TV airtime. So I've really been working since I was 9 years old. And I started selling advertising. I started flipping the advertising. My first year selling advertising, I made about $18,000. Second year, I made a little over $90,000. Third year, I was over $300,000 in revenues. And valuation, I think I was about 27, 28 years old. My valuation was well over $1 million, about $1.8 million of my valuation of assets, property, liquid assets, liquid value. I remember when my CPA said, you know, you're a millionaire. I was shocked. I didn't know what that meant. I still kind of wonder what that means. Now I recognize finances and income is a bit different. It's different. It's not, my perspective of money is different than anybody else's perspective of money. First of all, you have to have it. Second of all, it's up to you to make it. And third, it's up to you to manage it. If you miss those 3 points, you're never going to succeed in life. You have to have money. Somebody says don't work for money. Well, what are you going to work for? That money's there. The Bible says money and, look, wisdom answereth all things as money answereth all things. That's what a lot of people don't even know that money is written in the Bible. Money, M-O-N-E-Y, money. And the wisest man ever lived, Solomon, was the one that said it. Now, I'm not here to preach to you, but I'm here to tell you, you got to have money. Whoever tells you don't think about the money is doing you a disservice, because that money is powerful. That money will give you power, will give you presence, will give you the ability to do great things, will give you freedom, and yes, can give you happiness. But watch out, because money is the root of all evil. The love of money, not money. The love of money is the root of all evil. So what I want to show you and teach you during these videos, during these days, is how to go acquire the money, how to be able to make it, and how to be able to manage it and be successful without falling in love with it. That's what I want to show you. That's the whole mission of what I'm doing. That's the whole purpose. You need more money. You got to get more money. You got to make more money. You got to be more successful. No matter what you're doing, whether you're in business, whether you're in ministry, whether you're just going to school, whether you're retired, you got to have it. You got to make it. You got to manage it. If you don't have those three things, forget it. You got to have it. You got to make it. You got to manage it. But don't fall in love with it. The love of money is the root of all evil. But you got to have it. You got to make it. And you got to manage it. And don't let other people tell you that they'll manage your money for you. You better manage the one managing your money. There's some people, I see Ezekiel Elliott signed this $90 million business plan or business deal. That she signed the contract for him to play for the Dallas Cowboys, expanded his play with the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to lose a boatload of that money. Look at what happened to Tim Duncan. He lost a boatload of that money. Why? Because he left his money. They make so much money, they don't know how to manage it. They know they got to have it. But when they get to the position where they already got it, sometimes they forget they need to have it. And they got to know how to make it. That's the biggest problem. The only thing they know about is how to shoot that ball and maybe what they studied. But then they're thinking shooting that ball made all that money. But that is a what's the word I'm looking for? That is a timed, defined income. You can only play sports and make money in sports for as long as your body will have you. Now, sure, there are many of those, like Tony Romo is able to convert that over to a career in sportscasting and so forth. But then take a look at what happened to Witten. Witten goes into it and he bombs. It does a bad job, has to go back playing sports. What's he going to do next? I promise you right now, by the time he writes his book, he's going to make an announcement, only because it smells like it. He's going to make an announcement that he wasn't making the money he thought he was going to make doing the announcements. He loved the sport, got back into it, realized his body was still able to do it. He needed to go make some more money because he lost money. You watch, the story's going to come out that he lost money. I mean, I don't know whether that's true or false, but it just smells like it to me. He lost money, needs to go make more money. So he went out there doing what he loved, doing his passion, signed a 1-year contract. He's going to take it year by year. And you know, the Joneses signed him out of a favor. Sure, they need him because he's great, and I'm hoping they're going to get a Super Bowl. He needs a ring. He deserves a ring. But ultimately, the story's going to come out that he needed the money. You watch, it's going to come out. So those are the 3 principles that I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to be teaching you with my videos. This video is I can't say the beginning, but it's going to be continuing. I'm excited that I'm using multicasting so I can broadcast and stream on other platforms. I'll be broadcasting and streaming on more as they continue to grow. I want you to go back and watch this video and listen to that story over and over again. If you're watching me on YouTube, you need to subscribe on YouTube because I'll be doing more live. When they let me do live on my mobile phone, if they let me do live on my mobile phone on YouTube, I'll be doing it then. But I got to get to 1,000 subscribers in order for me to go live on my mobile phone. I'm only at 154 as of this video. If you can tell your friends and your family members, can you harass them for me? Please follow this guy, even if they never listen to me. I just need them to get me to 1,000 so I can go live. It'll grow from there. And tell other people to start listening to these videos because I'm going to revolutionize. We're about to turn this whole system on its head. We're going to turn business on its head, and we're going to turn ministry on its head. And I'm going to show you something dynamic. I'm going to show you something that will revolutionize you. We're going to build a community of, we're going to build a community, a church community. We're going to build a church community. It's going to be in the kingdom of God, but we're going to be focused on, we're going to do things in business. We're not going to be loving money, but we're going to recognize the power of money, and we're going to recognize its ability and what it does do. But that's not the only area of prosperity. There's 4 other areas of prosperity: spiritual, physical, social, and mental. And those are more powerful. spiritual, physical, social, mental. If those 4 areas are bad, your money's, if your financial is always going to have some problems. I'm going to be teaching about this coming this weekend. On Sunday is my first message, Sunday morning at Center Church in Far, Texas. On Sunday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, you need to meet me there at Far Church in Far. For those of you who are not from the Rio Grande Valley, the South Texas area, the city's name is Far, Pharr. In Far, Texas, I'm going to be speaking at Center Church, located on the corner of Nolana and 281, also known as Interstate 2. And I'm going to be there Sunday, and then I speak and begin a 3-lesson course on kingdom financial responsibility, accountability, kingdom financial accountability. And then I'm going to teach again on the 29th. I'm going to wrap it all up. But here's what I'm going to be doing on Sunday. On Sunday, I'm going to be setting the basis for this entire month. And then I'm going to register. I'm going to have with me a document, a place, probably give people opportunity to go online and register for me to go meet with them during the week. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go meet with individuals that want to do business, individuals that have business, and I'm going to spend time with you. I'm going to give you at least 30 minutes of my time, at least 30 minutes of my time. You can ask me one-on-one questions. I do peer advice for many, many people. I've gone through courses of being a life coach and counselor, being a motivational speaker. I've done all that stuff, but nothing has proven this word more than my own personal experience. And so I want to be able to spend some time with you. So starting Sunday, you're going to come on Sunday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. You're going to register online at my website, clarkortiz.com. You're going to register that you want me to go see you, but you have to be there Sunday. I'm not going to put the registration for me to go see you until Sunday morning. Sunday morning, it's going to go live. And if you're there in the church, you're going to be able to, I'm going to put the link up on the screen. So you have to be at the church to see it. And then when you get to the church, you're going to register using your mobile phone. You're going to register for me to go see you. And I'm going to go visit you next week, one-on-one. I want to line businesses, business people, entrepreneurs. I want to line them up, because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend time with you. I'm going to take a look at your business. People pay me thousands of dollars to come in just to analyze their business or their ministry, to help them make adjustments. They spend thousands of dollars a day for me to spend time with them, to show them how they can show them what they need to correct, what they need to improve, minor adjustments for major changes, and how to increase their ministry. But my closest relationships, I do it to them for free. So I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to give you thousands of dollars worth of services that I'm making myself available during the entire week, starting September the 8th on Sunday morning. I'll even see you that evening. Sunday evening. If you have a business that's open on Sunday, I'll go see you. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to go see you. I'm going to dedicate those 4 days of going to see businesses, businessmen, entrepreneurs, ministries. And I'm going to give opportunity, at least 30 minutes, hopefully more, but at least 30 minutes opportunity for us to spend time together and to chat, to talk, to see how you can make these adjustments inside your business, inside your work, whatever it is that you're doing, to make more money. And you are going to be my testimony. You are going to be a testimony to me. And then you're going to declare the story to the world and let other people know about it. So again, that's this Sunday down in South Texas at Center Church, 10 o'clock in the morning, corner of Nolana and 281. Can't miss it. Big, beautiful sign, Center Church. 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll be speaking there. My wife is going to be with me. On another note, I have a book. I'm going to put the link of the book on this stream on Facebook. I'm going to put it up on Facebook. And this book is a book that I wrote. I wrote this book some time ago. Let me get this. Let me get this here so I can put this on right now. Yeah. So this book I wrote called The Reward Experience. The original title was The Columbus Principle. But the Reward Experience, I give you a bunch of testimonials of things that have happened in my life. And I'm going to put it on the stream on Facebook. I'm also going to make it available I'm going to make it available on, I'm going to make it available on all my other social medias. You'll see it there. So it's the link to where you can purchase. It's only $5. It's an ebook. It'll come right to you from Amazon. The book comes in perfectly. You're going to love it. You can also get it for free. You can get it for free if you'd like. But you have to participate and subscribe, get a 30-day subscription with Amazon. And but it's a $5 book, $4.99 actually, ebook, a little bit more for taxes. I think it comes up to like, I don't know, $5.30, something like that. 120 pages, called The Reward Experience, and I believe it's going to be a benefit for you. I want you to go on there, go buy that book. Let's see what else. Smash that button if you're on YouTube. Remember to tell everybody to follow me. You want to become a subscriber. Also hit the little bell and be reminded that I'm broadcasting. I'm going to take this video when we're done here. I'm going to take this video and I'm going to edit it and put it up on YouTube, make it available to other people, put a nice little opening and closing. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. For now, I want to tell you thank you so much. If you got any questions, go ahead and ask me some questions. Thank you so much, Tina. You're such a blessing. Thanks for being on. Tina, you get a chance to go back and watch this video. And we'll talk about business and be able to expand what you're doing with your business. It'll be dynamic. I promise you you'll love it. All right, listen, guys, I'm about to sign off. If you have any questions, I'm going to give you a moment. Ask me some questions. I'll be here chatting for a little bit. I'm going to stay here in front of my computer a little while longer. You can chat with me anywhere in Periscope. You can send us a note, Periscope. You can send it on YouTube. You can also put it on Facebook. Listen, on YouTube, if you're a subscriber, you're going to receive an email stating that I did this live broadcast. Click on it, watch the video. And on YouTube, you can also post down below. There's a place for comments. You can put comments on there. Thank you so much, Tina. Praise the Lord. Yeah, and you're going to love it. And you can comment on YouTube. Hit share and share this video with other people. Follow me everywhere. Just find me, Clark Ortiz. By the way, hashtag Clark Ortiz. If you want to see what I'm doing, if you've missed any of my videos, there's different content that I'm putting on different platforms. But if you hashtag Clark Ortiz, y'all have to. I got to do a whole series on the power of a hashtag, power of a hash power. That's what I call it, hash power. And some people use hashtags just to make a statement. Just make the statement without the hash. You know, if you use a hash that has no engagement, that's not a real hash, you're actually losing audience. The algorithms of social media will disregard you. They'll place you in a position that they'll say this person doesn't know what they're doing, and they're not going to take your video and put you on the places where people can see you. So don't hash useless hashtags. Use hashtags that are meaningful, and you watch how you're going to go through the roof. Okay? So if you hash Clark Ortiz, what'll happen, look at the magic that pops up on any browser or any search engine. Hash Clark Ortiz, and you're going to see all my stuff, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Periscope, everything. That's all in there. All right, guys, listen, I love you guys. You all be well. Thank you for being with me, putting up with this video on every one of those platforms. Hopefully this stuff's going to be a benefit for you and that you'll be able to prosper in everything that you're doing. I want you to prosper spiritually, physically, socially, mentally, and financially. Remember that. And remember, while you're out there getting and all you're getting, go get some understanding. God bless.